We're 350 students around, so a smaller boarding school comparatively to schools in New England. If you're somebody you want to be a big fish in a small pond, right, this could possibly be a place that will work for you. You'll really get a sense of who we are during your time here. Part of my background, I went to school at the University of Maine. I was always involved in athletics in one way or the other, whether that was football or basketball. My first job out of college, I worked at Lee Academy, which is a boarding school in Lee, Maine. Most of the basketball team that I was coaching filled with international students. That's kind of my first working with kids from different cultural backgrounds. And so from there, I've always been kind of sports related. Again, being the basketball coach here, having some experience with athletics, working it through this admissions process, getting families on campus, touring them around, showing them what Pomfret's all about. I don't know, it's just a feeling that it's really hard to put into words, to connect someone to an experience that I'm living, to help them see, okay, like this is something that could work for me, for my child and our family. And then having that kid on campus and seeing them kind of flourish, right, in the peaks and valleys of it, right, because it's not always all good things, right? Like sometimes kids get homesick, sometimes kids are struggling with school or, friendships, whatever it is, right? And helping kids navigate all of that is something I think working at a boarding school that has made me really passionate about. What makes Pomfret such a unique place is the community that we have here, the people. If you've asked that question to a majority of the people here, I think that's the answer you get. We're 350 students around, so a smaller boarding school comparatively to schools in New England. And so we spend a lot of time with each other, whether that's in the dorms, whether that's in classrooms, afternoon activities, some of the traditions that we have here, just because at some level, people are going to know your name, people are going to know your interest. And I always tell kids that can be rather annoying at times. I'm somebody, I need time as well. I think that the amount of support that students can give other students, that faculty can give the students, most of the faculty live right here on campus. We're able to be there every day to support our students. I think the best way to learn about us is getting on campus, that feeling in your gut when you're on campus. I think you'll get it as soon as you come through the admissions office, you meet a student tour guide, you go out on tour, you see kids collaborating with each other, living this boarding school life. You'll really get a sense of who we are during your time here. This small community warm feel, it works for you or it doesn't. If you're somebody you want to be a big fish in a small pond, right, this could possibly be a place that will work for you. But if you want this huge community where over 1,000 kids, and you want to skate by, if you will, this would be a tough place to do that. But if you want a place where you can really leave your mark being who you are while also being supported by your friends and faculty members, definitely a place for you. During the admissions process, something I really pick up on is kids that know who they are. First and foremost, that's something that resonates with me. I'd say the students, the broad view on life, great for someone to have a passion about something, right? So I'm the basketball coach here at Pomfret, right? And so kids who are really good at basketball, obviously I would love to be here. Even those kids, I tell them, like, it's more to this school than just basketball. You can't come here and just play basketball all day, right? And so whether that's trying a new sport, picking up an instrument, being involved in the theater program, the students with faceted interests are something that we pick up on, but then also students who want to be a part of a community and want to uplift our community in ways that they see fit, right? I think that it's super important we admit kids here who want to be a part of something special. So we have a play every term. The community we have a day. The play happens 3 days, right? And so one of those days is for the overarching community. We have service days where we go out within the community and do community service. So whether that's, working in a food shelter, whether it's food bank. I worked at a food bank last year with a group of students. We find different ways, always community service options weekly, right? So there's a student newsletter that goes out every week with ways to get involved. And there's always multiple ways for students to get involved based on their schedules and their interests. So we have 3 college counselors here on campus. Every student is connected with a college counselor their junior year, depending on what year you come in, right? So our 9th grade year is kind of all about exploration, throwing paint on a wall and see what sticks, if you will. 10th grade year, we get kids on college campuses. to start thinking about the idea of college and kind of what resonates with the child. And then your junior year, right, you get a little bit more specific. You start building a list. You start seeing things, that you want: big school, small school, liberal arts school, more hands-on school. And then senior year, kind of all about deadlines. And your college counselor is a part of that process every step of the way, right? And so make sure that the list is built, making sure they're communicating with families throughout the year, right? So not just the school year, but also in the summer. And as an advisor, we're also a part of that process. Kind of that reassurance. Your senior year, it's all about deadlines and making sure your application items are in. And so if that's providing space for a kid to get that done, whether it's just talking them through it because they just feel super stressed out because they got 6 projects and they got these applications to do, all hands on deck with kids for the college process. But our counselors just do a great job of, again, showing up and being there day to day, helping through that process. The first word that comes to my mind is warm. I think we do a great job of taking kids from all over the world and helping them find their sense of self, celebrating their sense of self. We really celebrate individuality here. And so we really foster relationships with kids to help them through their passions, create friendships and relationships with other faculty members. It's a place, where you belong, and you're also celebrated for being who you are. We have over 25 affinity groups. In my professional career, diversity has been something that has been really important, but it's also important to have a sense of belonging and see yourself on campus, right? And I believe our affinity groups do that. So whether it's our Asian Student Alliance, whether it's a Black Student Union, Gay Student Alliance, whatever it is, those students get together as a group and they're able to do all the things with each other, whether that's put on events, whether it's speak at school meeting to talk about things that are happening in the world, to educate us on, things that are important to different cultures. Just a great sense of belonging that kids can have to really see themselves, but then to also invite the community into, the things that they're trying to do as a group. So we have a few different options when it comes to kind of experiential learning. So, the first ones I think about is Hurricane Island, which is coming up. Kids come to campus to kind of get together, meet with the faculty members, and then they go up to, I believe it's Vermont, don't quote me. But then we go to Costa Rica as well, which is a part of an advanced environmental science course. We go to southern France, we go to Spain, kids go to Galapagos Islands. But something that really sticks out to me is Project Pomfret. And so Project Pomfret, each year we set aside 2 weeks for students to collaborate with faculty, to be really intentional about experiential education projects. So we use our hands, feet to do something, our hearts to learn. Our hearts to do something for others, and our heads to learn how to do something. That's a 2-week period in February, right before we go on spring break. And a great opportunity for kids to dive deep in working collaboratively with faculty members, right? We're completely out of the classroom doing the thing that you chose to do. So you get 3 options to choose from. And so the culmination of our work in celebrating the work that they did, whether that's a project fair, an art gallery, or a reflective essay, and then you share out with the community what you did based on the project that you chose.